Coming up Saturday, September 28th, I'm going to be riding my bike. That is not so unusual. If I'm not in the garden, I'm usually on my bike. Well, on September 28th, that happens to be the date for the Sacramento Century Challenge. It's a 100-mile bike ride along the Sacramento River. It starts in downtown Sacramento, heads south through the Delta farmland region, and then back to around downtown Sacramento. And yes, 100 miles is part of the challenge, as is the bike I'll be riding. I'm not cheating you. I'll be on an analog bike, not an e-bike. It's my good, trusty, steel-framed Surly Midnight Special. And adding to the challenge, of course, is the route. It's not a very hilly route, the 100 miles, but it goes along the river and the levee roads, which are full of potholes. And usually, in my past events in doing this ride, there are some ferocious headwinds usually on the way back. But making it more of a challenge, and this is where you come in, folks, is helping out the Sacramento Rotary Club raise money for the Sacramento Children's Home Crisis Nursery. The Sacramento Children's Home Crisis Nursery is the only program of its kind in Sacramento County. Exactly what do they do? Now, you probably saw the little blurb in the newsletter or the podcast that asked the question, what is a crisis nursery? And you're thinking, oh, some plants are in danger. It's better than that. We're talking with Todd Koolakian. He is with the Sacramento Children's Home and the Crisis Nursery. And Todd, tell us a little bit about the Sacramento Children's Home and the Crisis Nursery. The Children's Home has been around since what, the 1800s?
That is true. Yes, we've been around since 1867. We originated as an orphanage at that time. During the Gold Rush days, we were started by a group of volunteer women. And we've been continuously operating for 157 years. First, just thanks, Fred, for having me on to share a little bit more about our event and the beneficiary, SCH Crisis Nursery. I'm also a member of the Rotary Club of Sacramento, and I am the immediate past president. So I had the pleasure of leading the organization last year and am now in my retirement of being the president of the club, but still a proud member of the Rotary Club of Sacramento. And we've been doing this event in partnership together, our two organizations, for 11 years, and so proud to benefit from this event and folks like you that are going out and raising money on our behalf. The Crisis Nursery is a fairly unique program. There's only 5 crisis nurseries in the state of California. We operate 2 of them here in Sacramento County. It's a 24/7 program that serves families with young children that are going through a crisis. And that crisis could really be anything. It could be a medical or mental health emergency. It could be homelessness, an employment crisis, just going through a time of despair and not having somewhere else to turn. So the Crisis Nursery is there for families going through any number of those crisis. They can turn to the nursery for a resource to bring their children for anywhere from a few hours up to 30 days, completely free of charge. The nursery can take those small children into their care, providing all the essentials they need. Everything is free, from clothing, food, just a warm, loving place to stay. And then during that time, we work with the families to help solve their crisis. A lot of the families that we care for don't have a great support system. There's that age-old African proverb that says it takes a village to raise a child. For a lot of the families that we serve, they don't have that village. And so we provide that village for them and provide some of the supports that they need during their time of crisis. And it's a really great program. We operate the only crisis nursery in Sacramento County. And like I said, one of only a handful in the state of California, and we're really proud to operate that program. We started it in 1996 and have had it ever since, and we opened up our second location in 2002. So really great program. Really appreciate all the generous support that comes from the Sac Century Challenge. Each year, it raises about $100,000 to support our program.
Oh, that's great. What age of children are eligible to be in the crisis nursery?
Great question. The idea behind crisis nurseries is to serve families with children infant through age 5. So a child from just a few days old all the way up to the day before their 6th birthday all qualify to come and stay at the nursery. We can assist families with older children with other resources. We just can't take them per our licensing in to stay at the facility. So some of the other resources we can provide families with older children is all sorts of other supports. Our organization, the Sacramento Children's Home, has programs that serve children of all different ages. So we have a lot of other resources, but as far as kids that can actually stay at the nursery, it is from a few days old all the way up to a day before their 6th birthday.
Yeah, it's interesting the number of reasons that people would want to avail themselves of your services. I noticed in your annual report that one of the stories cited was about a shooting outside of a bedroom window of a home where a family lived, and they wanted to get their children to safety, and they came to you.
Exactly. It really runs the gamut on the types of reasons that clients come and utilize the Crisis Nursery, and there really is no right or wrong reason. We are open to anybody and everybody that may need our resource. There's all sorts of scenarios. What I would say is the connection between all of the different reasons is wanting to ensure that their young children are safe and that they're in a safe place. I think we've all unfortunately heard about some of the terrible news over the years of young children at times being left in vulnerable situations. That's what we're trying to avoid with the Crisis Nursery, and that's why the program's there. We don't want parents to be in a situation where they leave their child with unsafe people or in an unsafe environment, and so that's why the nursery is there. Really, there is no wrong reason to come to the nursery. There's no judgment on our part. Really, any reason is a good reason to come in and utilize that program.
What do you tell the parents or parent when they come in with a child and want the child to stay there? Do you explain to them that if we see a situation where there's abuse, we will bring in the authorities, or do you not do that?
All of our programs under the Sacramento Children's Home umbrella really are required to be mandated reporters. So if there's ever in any of our programs any sign of abuse, neglect, anything of that sort, we do have to report that to the authorities. What I will say, though, is the nursery is intended to be a program that families can use to avoid those situations, to prevent child abuse and neglect. So we want the nursery to be a program that parents can use so that those sorts of things don't happen. And that's really why the nursery is there. It's a critical prevention tool for local families. It's a proven child abuse prevention tool that many of our partners and collaborators in the area know is a proven tool to avoid child abuse and neglect. So that's what we hope parents will use as a means to prevent those situations. Now, what I'll also tell you is we let all of the parents know that are utilizing the program that there's nothing wrong with them for utilizing the program. They shouldn't be ashamed. They shouldn't feel like they've done anything wrong with as a parent. One of the greatest things that you can do to be a wonderful parent is to know when you need to seek help. And that's what we really try to drive home with clients that utilize the nursery is that it's okay to ask for help. That's actually a really good thing. It means that you're wanting your kids to have the best possible outcome, and that sometimes all of us need a little bit of helping hand, and the nursery is there judgment-free to assist those sorts of families that might just need a short-term helping hand.
And a helping hand is to be extended as well to the Crisis Nursery itself. The reason behind this ride, the Sacramento Century Challenge that I'll be participating in on Saturday, September 28th, raising funds for the Sacramento Children's Home Crisis Nursery. We'll have a link in the show notes and here in the newsletter about how you can donate to the Crisis Nursery through Farmer Fred's Ride for the Kids, I'm calling it. It's through an organization called Just Giving. So if you go to justgiving.com and type in Farmer Fred in the search engine, you'll find Farmer Fred's Ride for the Kids, the 2024 Sacramento Century Challenge right there, that where you can help make a donation. Not to lay any guilt on you folks, but do I ever ask for money when I answer your garden questions? No. I'm asking you now. Maybe share some of your money with the Sacramento Children's Home Crisis Nursery. Thank you very much. Todd Koolakian, we have certainly learned a lot about the Sacramento Children's Home Crisis Nursery. Best of luck. Are you going to be out riding on September 28th?
I won't be riding, but I will be out there as a volunteer. So for folks that are going to ride, and such as yourself, Fred, and go to the post-ride festival, I'll be out there at that event, helping out with manpower. But we'll have a lot of great Rotarians out along the way to assist riders. And it should be a really great event, as it always is year after year.
And I would think that you take signups for the ride up to the day of the ride?
We do. We will take people the morning of, and we also have a early registration that folks can do on the Friday before the ride. We'll take signups there as well. All are welcome. We love to have folks, even up until the very last minute, show up and ride with us. We'd be happy to have you. It's a well-supported event. We have several rest stops along the ride route, as well as safety vehicles that are driving around throughout the event to assist riders that may have a snag in their bike. We never hope that happens, but sometimes things arise, and we have folks going around to assist with that. For folks that like to ride, we hope to see you out there.
Yeah, I should point out that it's not just the 100-mile ride. There's a few other rides involved with the Sacramento Century Challenge. There's the Metric Century, which is 62.1 miles. There's a half century, which 50 miles. And then there's the fun ride. And they all start at a little different time, but all on the morning of September the 28th, a Saturday. So if you're in the Sacramento area and you want to do a nice bike ride along the Sacramento River, you might consider the Sacramento Century Challenge. You can find out more information about the ride and the routes at sacramentocentury.com, and we'll have a link to that as well in the notes. Todd Koolakian, thank you so much for your help, and best of luck with the Sacramento Children's Home Crisis Nursery.
Thank you, Fred. Really appreciate your support.